Welcome to the Ask Junior Daily Judgment podcast. I'm Priya, and joining me today is Arjun.
Hello, everyone. We're excited to dive into today's important judgment. But before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our podcast if you enjoy our daily legal breakdowns.
That's right. Your support helps us reach more listeners and continue providing in-depth analysis of the latest court decisions. Now, let's get started with today's cases.
Today, we're analyzing a monumental decision by the Competition Commission of India, CCI, regarding the practices of Meta Platforms Inc. Meta and its subsidiary, WhatsApp LLC, WhatsApp. This case, titled Updated Terms of Service and Privacy Policy for WhatsApp Users, involves some serious allegations of anti-competitive behavior and data misuse.
Let's break down the core issues. Firstly, the CCI identified two relevant markets. One, the market for over-the-top OTT messaging apps through smartphones in India, and two, the market for online display advertising in India.
Right. Think of it like this. The first market is the battleground for apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal. The second is where companies like Meta, Google, and Amazon compete to display ads to you as you're browsing the internet.
The CCI found that Meta is dominant in the OTT messaging app market through WhatsApp. They cited WhatsApp's massive user base in India, which dwarfs any competitor.
To illustrate the scale, imagine a stadium packed with people. That's the number of people using WhatsApp daily in India. This massive user base creates what we call network effects, where the more people use an app, the more valuable it becomes to others.
Exactly. Imagine everyone you know uses WhatsApp for messaging and you switch to Signal. You're going to have a hard time convincing all your friends to switch too, which means you'll be stuck using Signal while everyone else is on WhatsApp. This lock-in effect makes it difficult for new players to break into the market.
And here's where the CCI found that Meta abused its dominant position. They scrutinized the 2021 WhatsApp privacy policy update, which required users to accept new terms, including mandatory data sharing with Meta.
This is a critical point. Previously, WhatsApp users had the option to opt out of sharing data with Facebook, now Meta. But the 2021 update essentially said, take it or leave it. You had to accept their terms, including sharing data, if you wanted to continue using WhatsApp.
The CCI saw this as an imposition of unfair conditions because users had no real choice. Imagine going to your favorite coffee shop and being told they're now charging twice as much for your latte, but you have to pay it if you want to buy anything. You could go elsewhere, but it's inconvenient and you're locked into their coffee shop. That's the same situation with the 2021 WhatsApp update.
The CCI also criticized WhatsApp for the breadth and ambiguity of its data collection practices. While they argued that some data is necessary to provide messaging services, they found the categories of data being collected were too broad and vague.
Imagine a form asking you your name, address, and birthday. That's basic and understandable. Now imagine a form that asks you for everything from your medical history to your political views. That's vague and excessive.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The CCI pointed out that the scope of WhatsApp's data collection is much more extensive than what's required to provide messaging services. They also highlighted the fact that the same services are offered by other platforms without requiring such extensive data collection.
The CCI specifically mentioned how WhatsApp Business API, which businesses can use for messaging, requires users to link their Facebook profiles. This means that by using WhatsApp Business API, you're also agreeing to Facebook's privacy policy.
The CCI essentially stated that WhatsApp is collecting and sharing far more user data than is necessary to operate its core messaging services, raising concerns about privacy and competition.
The CCI found Meta's behavior to be a violation of multiple sections of the Competition Act 2002. Specifically, they found Meta guilty of imposing unfair or discriminatory conditions in the purchase or sale of goods or services, Section 4.2 AI, indulging in practices resulting in denial of market access, Section 4.2c, and using its dominant position in one market to protect another market, Section 4.2e. This last one is crucial. The CCI concluded that Meta is leveraging its dominant position in the OTT messaging app market through WhatsApp to protect its market share in the online display advertising market.
Think of it like this. Meta has a lot of information about you based on your WhatsApp activity. This information is very valuable to advertisers who are willing to pay for the chance to target their ads to users who are more likely to buy their products. Meta's data sharing practices allow them to create super targeted ads, giving them an unfair advantage over competitors in the display advertising market.
This case highlights how data has become an increasingly important part of the competition landscape. It shows how a dominant player like Meta can leverage its data advantage in one market to dominate another.
The CCI's decision was a bold move. They essentially said that Meta cannot use its dominant position in messaging to stifle competition in advertising.
As part of their order, the CCI imposed a penalty of Rs 213.4 crore on Meta. They also directed WhatsApp to cease and desist from certain practices, including sharing user data with Meta for advertising purposes for the next 5 years.
This judgment is a significant milestone in India's efforts to regulate the digital economy. It sends a strong message that dominant players must be held accountable for their actions, particularly when it comes to data privacy and competition.
It's going to be interesting to see how Meta responds to this decision. Will they appeal the judgment? Will they make changes to their privacy policies?
Only time will tell, Arjun. But this case is definitely setting a precedent for the future of digital regulation in India.
And that wraps up our analysis of today's judgments. We hope you found our discussion informative and engaging.
Before we sign off, we'd like to remind our listeners once again to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue bringing you daily updates on the most important legal decisions.
Absolutely. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another exciting episode. Until then, this is Arjun.
And Priya, signing off. Thanks for listening to the Ask Junior Daily Judgment podcast.